Call the meeting to order. Begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Could I have a call on the roll, please?
Councilmember Thacker.
Here.
Councilmember Weger.
Here.
Councilmember Thies.
Here.
Councilmember Norris.
Here.
Councilmember Wilson. Here. Councilmember Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Loudermilk.
Here. Thank you. Before we begin today's meeting with our official business, I think it would be appropriate to just offer this time for a moment of silence and reflection of the passing of Don Pruitt, who many of us have known for many years. I'd like to just offer that time now for a moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on. Corrections to the journal of the preceding meetings. We have the November 2nd, 2021 Sunshine meeting. I'd ask if you have not already done so, please review those meeting notes and point out any corrections that need to be made. And if everything is correct as presented, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
A motion to approve.
Okay. Motion on the floor by Councilman Weger to approve, second by Councilman Thacker. Any thoughts or discussion? Having none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Thacker.
Aye.
Councilmember Weger.
Aye.
Councilmember Thies.
Aye.
Councilmember Norris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Loudermilk.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the November 9th, 2021 meeting minutes. Please review those also for content and accuracy. If there's any corrections that need to be made, please state those now. If the meeting information is correct as presented, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion on the floor to approve by Councilman Thompson, second by Councilman Norris. Any questions or comments? Having none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Thacker.
Aye.
Councilmember Weger.
Aye.
Councilmember Thies.
Aye.
Councilmember Norris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Loudermilk.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. And lastly, we have the January 4th, 2022 meeting minutes before us. Again, please review those for content accuracy, and if there's any corrections that need to be made, please do so at this time. If the meeting minutes are correct as presented, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion on the floor approved by Councilman Norris, second by Councilwoman Wilson. Questions or comments? Having none, I ask for roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Thacker.
Aye.
Councilmember Weger.
Aye.
Councilmember Thies.
Aye.
Councilmember Norris.
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson.
Aye.
Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Councilmember Loudermilk.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to public comments. Open this time up for public comments. Ask that comments and communications should be related to items other than the items on tonight's agenda. Those who would like to offer public comment, please approach the podium, state your name, and council will be happy to hear from you.
My name is Kevin Southwood, and I'd just like to offer this idea. I call it the 5-year plan. I live in North Terre Haute, and to me, every place up around there is like it's been abandoned. Like we're part of a city, but we're not part of a city, and so and I can say that about like a lot of places, not just in Vigo County, but I think that if you wanted to open up, do something for this community, you could, the south end and the east end doesn't need no help. That's where the light shines and everything else is in the dark. So my idea about the 5-year plan is if you give people 5 years to invest in their homes, and like my house is valued at $65,000, and that's a real iffy if I could get that. But if you could give people a 5-year idea or a plan to any improvements that you make into your house from this point to this point, you aren't gonna pay no taxes on that. So you would have at the end of 5 years, if I put say a deck or something on my house, or a pool, for instance, anything, or a garage or a carport or something like that. But at that point, those structures could not be taxed, on that house. So you give people the chance to invest in their homes, and you're not going to charge them a do it. You're not going to lose no taxes. You're still getting your house on my house at $65,000. So you aren't going to lose a penny on taxes, but you could allow people to. It's almost like a monkey see, monkey do. As this person cuts their grass on a Saturday, this person cuts their grass, and 5 or 6 other people in the same block cut their grass all at the same time. So when people start seeing people that invested in their house, put a new roof on, build a garage or something, put a deck on, then they start to see that, and they paint the house, so it's an inspiration. So if you would allow people like, hey, you're not going to get no taxes on this, so invest your money now, and you could see, I think you could see like a Ferris wheel, going down the hill and taking everybody with it, and they're all rode in like a snowball. They're all rode into it, and the benefits would be, you could see a community that would invest in their own neighborhoods, and when people start to see how things could work and how they should work, you start lessening the anger across the community. You start making people's mind think about, instead of the hatreds over the school, or the hatred over the COVID, or the hatred over the mask, you start to invest in progression, and you allow people to see the value in themselves, and in a 5-year plan, you would have such a vast improvement that you could lift up the north end of Terre Haute into a complete transformation. Like I said, you wouldn't lose no taxes, but for me, whenever I got my COVID stimulus check, I bought stuff. I bought 2 windows on the front of my house. Cost me $1,150, American made. I put me up a sliding gate where my carport was, and it cost me about over $1,000. So that's like the $212 packages. I bought me a weed eater, one of only 2 of them I could find, made in America. But I go to the store or something. But I love to buy American, because for me, if you're going to give a stimulus check to somebody, that you have to buy American made, or you're just giving a stimulus check to China or Mexico or Japan or Korea or any place, but you're not giving it to America. You're giving it to pay for employees in foreign countries, and foreign countries for their benefit. For your benefit, you go into debt. So, we should have all, anytime you get a stimulus check, it ought to be on a debit card. You buy American made, you can take that account off that stimulus check. If you don't buy American made, you still got that card in your wallet, because you can't use it for nothing. You have to, but if you want to do like a 5-year plan, like I wanted to build a deck, well, I have to buy wood and stuff like that, made in America. I would have to buy like a carport or a garage, made in America. And you could even start to transform not only Vigo County, but the rest of the world or the rest of the country, and you would be investing in America. So.
Yes.
I bet you are a fantastic grandpa. I bet you're a fantastic grandpa. You're setting. You did it. Oh, well, then the neighborhood kids. I mean, you're very inspirational. I appreciate it.
Well, I believe what I believe, and that comes from my heart.
Yep, I can tell.
There's many times that I go overboard, but I know no filter.
That's quite all right.
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilwoman Leger.
Mr. Southwood, I just want to say, we do appreciate that you have thought about this, and you took the time to come down here and express this. It's very well thought out, and you've got a very good idea. If people would get off their high horse and just start doing stuff like that, it was wonderfully presented. Thank you very much for coming.
Well, I've offered a lot of things, and every one of them have been placed up. And I thought about, that really, instead of offering ideas like, I shouldn't offer an idea in public. I ought to offer a challenge. Offer a challenge that if you can't better my idea, then you do my idea. If you can better my idea, then I'll get behind you.
I like
But
your
if you
style.
can't better my idea, then that's on you. And you have to say, we're not going to follow you, and we're not going to do anything on your time.
Well, I'm going to give you a challenge. This young woman is here from WTHI-TV tonight, and you should get on TV, and this will go all over the Wabash. It'll go over 20 counties in western Indiana and eastern Illinois, and that'll get your message out.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Awesome.
Yes. Councilman Thacker.
Thank you for your comments. Are you familiar that there are other places that do just what you're talking about?
No,
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, so I have a small farm in Illinois, and they offer exactly what you're talking about. If you make an improvement, you can get a 5-year exemption for any improvement on your properties. And so it is a very valuable, but I don't think we can just do it where the light doesn't shine. We'd have to do it for the whole county. It would be my only thought on it is.
I mean, I would just seeing that.
Yeah.
Terre Haute and West Terre Haute and the central part outside Lake Cook, you see, it seems to be like, you know, like we're on the back burner and the south and the east is our line. And anything else that doesn't merit much effort or much design.
Well, and the only reason I say that is I had lived in those other areas that do offer that. There's ones that offer, they freeze your taxes once you're a senior. There's a lot of different options out there. So what I would say is I would take on your challenge, and I would work with the county officials to see if we can't do something to get a incentive. So, I mean, all you can do is investigate it. But I appreciate your comments, and I would look in why we can't do it. And there may be state statutes. There may be a lot of things going on. That's the difference in it. So I'm not saying I'd do it, but I would look. I can't promise you I could do something until we investigate it. But I would take your suggestion at heart and look into it for you. Because I am a representative at large, so I'd have to do it. It'd be the whole county. I would just tell you that ahead of time.
Well, the first time, I haven't been down here for a long time, and it's the first time I've had a positive feedback, so I'll give you all a salute on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the council? Thank you, Mr. Southwick. Appreciate it. Any other public comments? Appears to be none. Moving on, communications from elected officials, other officials, or agencies of the county.
President Loudermilk. Oh,
Hi, my name's Tim Cunningham. I'm the Veteran Service Officer for Vigo County. And just kind of as an informational thing tonight, we now have 2 office spaces. We have the office here at the Annex Building, which is the primary. But as of December 20th, I also have office space out at the new VA clinic. What I don't have is a couple clones of me. So that's kind of what I want to throw out there. I know no decisions or anything like that tonight. This is more informational and answer questions if you have any. What I'm looking to do is I'm looking to bring Vicki Albright up to VSO status, make her a full-time employee, which means we would have to backfill her receptionist duties in that office. And then I also need an additional VSO, Veteran Service Officer, for the clinic. And it would be advisable that we had a receptionist out there to handle the foot traffic and things like that. When I'm out there, basically people, they see me and they just walk into the area that we have set aside as office space. It'd be nicer if we had a receptionist to kind of direct them, wait in the waiting area, he'll get with you as soon as we can. What that would do also is that would free me up to do the outreach programs that basically I was originally hired to do. But I can't because I'm kind of married to the office and the desk here. When I say we're busy, the first year I was here, day to date, we put almost 1,000 veterans through that office. And I've had as many as 12 veterans come through the office in one day. Just happened to be a day that Vicki was off. Not good. No, we did not close the shop at 4 o'clock as usual. But that's okay. That's on me because that's my dedication level. But basically what I want to do is bring Vicki up to VSO status, hire a new VSO, and I would still be here and at the clinic because there'll be a lot of training for the new person at the clinic also. So I'd be out doing training, doing the outreach programs, and by outreach, I mean the American Legions, the VFWs, AMVETS, the Reach Center, Loyal Battalions, does a lot of things for the veterans. Anybody that has contact with veterans, provides services to veterans and or disabled veterans, I need to be out talking to them, letting them know that there are programs available to those veterans that they can take advantage of. So that's kind of what I want to throw out there. We'll have a formal proposal, I guess, for the March. This is just informational. It's not really a proposal yet. We'll get all the paperwork done right and do it the proper way. This is just kind of information. Okay?
Thank you. Any questions or comments from council? Councilwoman Thies?
Something that would be really helpful, just even you talking about like the numbers you had on one day, if you could in March provide numbers on like amount of people you serve per month or any data that you can give
Oh,
to
sure.
us would be really helpful in that process. And of course, we have procedures we have to follow. But,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that way we just have more information to take a look at
Right.
because it's
And
obviously a very important job.
Fortunately for me, I'm kind of one of those statistic nerds. I've kept track of every veteran that comes in. We have them sign the clipboard. I know I've missed a couple along the way. So, you know, I'm sure we did at least 1,000. We officially, I can account for 992. So I probably missed 8 somewhere along the year.
Because your office, isn't it, you're in a fairly new role, from what I remember talking to you.
Well, the VSOs have been here for a long time.
You're
but
just newer here.
I've been here a year and a
Okay,
half now.
okay.
And I have all the phone, again, last year we did 14, well, we did about 1,800 phone calls in addition to the people that walk in.
Yeah, any of that information would be helpful.
Okay,
to
yeah,
have a look
and I
at.
can provide all that
Okay,
for you,
thank
because
you.
I have all that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Norris?
I just wanted to give everybody an update on the Pine Meadow school fire that happened on Sunday night / Monday morning. IDM's already been out and inspected it. The walls are being knocked in currently today. Everything's been taken care of. Asbestos has been cleared, that there was none, and it'll be hauled off to the landfill next week. And that was all done through the commissioners and everything. They took care of all that. As far as the money to appropriate for that, that won't be asked upon us on the county. That was taken care of through their funding. So that'll be all cleared off, and then I believe the property, as I understand it, is to be donated back to the county. I think is how that's gonna work. So I just wanted to give an update on that.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yep.
Any questions?
Just think it was sad to see a school like that burn down. It's a pretty
Right.
neat building.
Yeah.
So,
Sure. Councilwoman Thies?
Okay. I just wanted to update, everyone publicly on where we are in the process of the abatement, scoring sheets and procedures. Melissa's just been, Miller's been awesome working with me, taking comments and feedback. We've also reached out to other people who've been involved in it. City Council member Martha Crossan, who'd been involved in the original forms the city used. Steve Witt from Economic Development as well, because I want to try to have all eyes on this. We'll be getting it to our attorney to take a look at as well. So my hope is I'd like to go ahead and put it on the agenda for the March meeting so we can take a look at it. Any feedback that you guys might have, we're kind of crunch time. So if you have anything to offer, try to get it to me in the next week or two. But my goal is that we have that so that we can take a look at it and vote on it and get it in place at that time. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You can reach out to Calissa as well. Like I said, she's been a rock star making it an actual document for that. On another note, I just want to commend our county employees on the work they did on the roads. I think a lot of us out here live pretty rural out here, and just impressed. I even had the chance to ride some of the side roads in one of the plows and taking a look at it, and I can't imagine what it was like on the night that everything was blowing and, having, the flashers going off in the cars and trying to not go off the ditches, and just really, I know they put in a lot of hours of work, and I'm just blown away by how well, it's not, we can't get every little speck that we see, obviously, but what they were able to do on some of those county roads and some of them smaller roads as well, just blown away by their work. So I just wanted to commend them, and they did a lot of hours of work, so that's it, I'm done.
Thank you.
Quick question.
Councilman Wilson?
I see we have a couple commissioners here. I was just wondering if I could get an update on the bathroom at Ivy Tech. What's the status on that? Slick.
You know, I haven't followed up with, I've seen Adam 2 or 3 times. I haven't specifically asked him about that, so I do not know.
It's non-existent. It's not there.
It's not there.
No, it's not.
No, it's not there. But I will follow up with Adam and call you, okay?
Thank you. I was just happened to be driving down, and I thought, you know what? I need to go by there and take a look at this bathroom, and I couldn't find it. Thanks.
Can I expand on a couple things real quick?
Sure, yeah.
Travis is correct with what everything he said, but I commend you guys because the extra $100,000 you guys gave building inspection with the budget last year helped facilitate all this to make it happen. The extra $25,000. I mean, we're estimating somewhere between roughly $20,000 to $25,000 to get that debris removed and taken to the landfill, which is just a couple miles away. Thankfully, if it was a lot farther away, it would be a lot more expensive. So I will say Commissioner Terry Bays has been phenomenal in this whole deal. He was there early in the morning, worked with IDEM, worked with the state fire inspector, cadaver dogs, the whole deal to make sure the building was, nobody was in the building, asbestos was gone. He had all that certified and done. So he's done his due diligence on making sure everything was great. So, I think that's incredible. Also want to talk to you guys one more time about the impact grant. I talked to you guys back in January. Talked to Ms. Loudermilk here, and I think I talked to Calissa a couple times about it. We still haven't gotten to a point of making a decision on where to pull the money from if we decide to do an impact grant like that. But I think, me personally, I'm leaning more toward the general fund. If we were to use ARP money to do that grant, you have to have a lot of follow-up with it. So we really have to keep track of how the rehab facility or whoever we choose to give that money to is spending the money. If we just give them something from the general fund, there's really not that much. Not saying they would do anything wrong with the money, but it would be hard for them to keep providing us every little nickel and dime that they're going to spend that money on if we chose to use the ARP money. So if you guys are still interested in doing something like that, I think we would take it from the general fund, and we would just have those groups come in here and give like a 5-minute presentation. You guys can pick which groups you want to give an award to, whether that's a $10,000, $25,000, whatever you guys decide, and give that to them whatever day you want to. When we're moving inmates in, when we're whatever. But I still think that the idea has taken off. I know a lot of rehabs reached out to me about things they could do with a lot of money. So if you guys are still interested in that, I'll keep moving forward. If not, that's okay too. I'm just trying to find out or do something in good faith to our community and the rehab centers because they need some help.
Councilman Thacker?
Yeah, could you elaborate on that fire, now that it's got brought up and talked about it? Were there any utilities to that building, and do they have any idea?
No, so there was
I'm sick of them saying electrical when they don't know, so they typically just say that, but if it didn't have electrical to it, it couldn't be a fire.
I would say there was somebody in it, Todd.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Just my assumption. There's been nothing going to that building for a long time. And there was a 501c3 formed, Pimento School Incorporated or something like that, I think, was what was on Beacon, but it went defunct in 2015. No paperwork was turned in, nothing like that. So really, there was some discrepancies on who owns the property, whether it's that company, Indiana Historical Society, or Vigo County. Basically, what the Historical Society told us is if we knock the building down, haul the debris away, we'll end up with about 5 acres in Vigo County's name. So I think that's kind of where we're at right now.
As I said the other day, I would be supportive if that's on the agenda of the impact grant.
Okay. Thank you.
Kind of looking back at that again, I don't know if we're having, it's one of the things I brought up addressing it, if we're looking at targeting certain like just having some sort of criteria
Yep.
of who can apply, like whether it be certain kinds of licensing, certain types of facilities. That's probably my main thing. I'd like to make sure that if we're choosing along the process, that we have a way to do it in
Yeah,
a fair
I'm just trying to
manner.
gauge your guys' interest because I don't want to waste your time or Calissa's
Right.
time when we get on the agenda. If it's something that we think is going to fail, then there's no reason, no need to even try. But
Okay.
I can come up with those criterias. I would just really like it to stay with our groups within Vigo County that's already
Right.
doing a majority of the work. So I don't want to put too many labels on it, although I want to know how we're spending our money, but that's their job to tell us how they're going to spend it, and then you guys can approve however you want to go about doing it. But I mean, it's unusual. I mean, it's something we've, as far as I know, Calissa, you can help me out. I don't think we've ever done anything like this before. So it would be something that I think the state would appreciate and everybody, in West Central Indiana would appreciate, and hopefully would follow suit.
Mr. President,
Councilman Wager?
I'd like to ask the commissioners while they're here regarding the casino and their request for rezoning. I understand that's city council business, but do you have any insight into any plan that they might have to expedite their activity if they get that rezoning approval?
We did have or a Zoom conversation with them. It was real vague, Vicky, until the news broke on Monday. We didn't know anything more than what you guys know. I did ask the question if everything gets approved, which now we understand when there's a meeting in March with the Gaming Commission on March 8th, if that gets approved, they're looking to break ground in June, and it could be anywhere from a 14 to 18-month process. But something I was talking to some people about today, this won't be Churchill's biggest casino, but in today's world of economic woes, it will be their most expensive casino they've ever built. So, it's going to be a challenge getting that thing up and off the ground, and it's going to be expensive. So, I know that Churchill's been working with city engineering and stuff like that on pipe connectivity, roads, things like that, so.
It would be a better location for it, certainly in consideration with the downtown convention center than putting it in the mall, I would think, because they would have the opportunity to build a great big ballroom down there and a dining room facility and all that would compete with the convention center, just my thinking.
Yeah, they do have a 500 person ballroom in there, which is concerning, but they've promised to work with us and not work against us, so
Yada, yada, yada.
we'll see. Churchill has been great so far. I mean, we've had a good relationship with them. They've been upfront, transparent, honest, the whole deal, so we'll see.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council? Commissioners?
Kevin?
Nothing, Kevin? No? Okay. All right, moving on. Reports from committees. There are none. Resolutions and ordinances other than appropriations. First up, we have Resolution 2022-02, ROC 2022-02, Negotiation Fire Protection District.
I'm back. Carol Holbert for New Goshen Fire Protection District. We talked last week about the resolution that I presented for the council for seeking approval for the new debt service fund that will be established to purchase a new tanker for the fire district. The debt service fund will be in the amount of $340,000 for the tanker, which is currently on order. Hope to have it by the end of the year. We have everything is pretty well finished. This was kind of our last stop. If we can get approval this evening, then we lay it out for the 30-day remonstrance. Provided no opposition there, then all the paperwork will go to DLGF for final approval. So we are pretty well into the project, so we're hoping for a favorable vote this evening. And if anybody has any other questions, we had a couple of questions last time that I followed up with. What would happen with the old tanker that was going to be replaced, and the fire department's plans will be to sell that. And actually already have a couple of other fire departments expressing interest in it. So, but it will stay in service until the new one is put into service. So, again, since the council is fiscal body for the fire district, that's why we come before you seeking your approval. So, that's what we're here for.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Holbert? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
There's no questions. There are no comments or discussion. I'd entertain a motion at this time. Move to approve. A motion to approve by Councilwoman Wilson. Second by Councilman Thacker. Any comments or questions? Having none, ask for roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have ordinances relating to appropriations. Additional appropriation 2022-01, ROC 2022-001, Vigo County Health Department. We had information last week presented. I understand it went pretty smooth. I think Joni would be more than happy to field any questions or concerns that the council may have.
Absolutely.
Any questions from council? Uh-oh, you may get off easy today, Joni.
She was pretty thorough last week.
All right.
Good questions last week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Should beat you, Todd. Motion by Councilwoman Wager to approve, a second by Councilman Thacker. If there are no questions or comments, I'd ask for roll call vote, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joni. Moving on. Honorary resolutions. We have none. Resolutions relating to fiscal policies of the council. There are none. Next, we have appointments. Circulating the sheets of external and internal appointments. I'll go through those real quickly. Everybody should have a copy. If you guys need another, let me know. External appointments, Alcohol Beverage Commission, one-year term, Bill Bryan. Property Tax Assessment Board of Appeals, and that is a Democrat placement. As you recall, there was an adjustment last year on how we did that. That's a one-year appointment. It'll be Carl Steve Lynch. Next, Vigo County Redevelopment Commission. There are two one-year appointments, and they are Rick Berger and Pat Ralston. Internal appointments, E91 Advisory Board, one-year term, Brenda Wilson. Emergency Management Advisory Council, one-year term, Todd Thacker. Pre-Disaster Mitigation Committee, one-year term, Aaron Loudermilk. Local Emergency Planning Commission, one-year term, Vicki Wager. West Central Indiana Economic Development District, Inc., one-year term, David Thompson. Building Inspection Advisory Board, one-year term, Brenda Wilson. Vigo County Fair Board, one-year term, Travis Norris. Wabash River Development and Beautification, Inc., one-year term, Marie Thies. Safe Schools Task Force, it's actually a two-year term, but it expires December 31st this year, so just be 1 year of that two-year term, Todd Thacker. Council Administrator, one-year term, Calissa Miller. Council Attorney, one-year term, Robert Effner. Annual Budget Committee, Chair, David Thompson. Also, Brenda Wilson and Marie Thies. So those are the appointments for 2022. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
He's got the council
President,
Travis Norris. He's the council president.